Hi ladies, good afternoon. It is Sarah Shipton here from Scrapbooking with Sarah, and I am coming live to you on Tuesday, September 10th in my Facebook group Scrapbooking with Sarah Shipton. And I am super excited to be sharing my weekly scrapbooking challenge with you. I know I start off every week saying I'm super excited to share this with you, but I am, right? I'm always super excited to share these layouts with you and inspire you to do something special with your photos as well. There is Miss Mel. Hi Mel, thanks so much for joining us. It's great to see you online today. So this week's scrapbooking challenge is a pattern from the Make It From Your Heart Volume 6 book. We are working with pattern number 17, and this is on pages 38 and 39 of your how-to pattern book. If you do not have this how-to pattern book, then I'm going to run through some of the instructions with you. Every week I post a weekly scrapbooking challenge in my Facebook group for my customers, scrapbooking audience and community with the instructions to this layout. So if you would like to join my scrapbooking Facebook group, please find me on Facebook. Just search for Scrapbooking with Sarah Shipton and there will be some qualifying questions there for you to answer to join my group. Now, if you are an existing Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, then I do only have my Facebook group open to customers, audience, community, people that are not already associated with a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so you can catch up on YouTube every week. So my YouTube channel is Scrapbooking with Sarah, and that's where I upload this video to my channel every week. So love this layout because you can get 8 photos on the layout, but today I'm going to share with you, I actually have 10 photos on my layout, and I love getting extra photos on my scrapbooking layout because the story is so important. Yes, there are definitely times where you can have maybe 1 to 2 photos on a layout and it'd be super decorative, but for the most part, the scrapbooking style that I love is more photos and always the story, okay? So pages 38 and 39 of your how-to pattern book. So if you've got this book, you might even recognize some of the people in this book. Yes, this is my beautiful family. These photos were actually taken on Mother's Day a couple of years ago. I want to say, what year are we now? We're 2024. So I reckon this might have been 2022 Mother's Day. My daughter organised this beautiful day for us at McLaren Vale. I live not far from a wine region, 30 minutes from a beautiful wine region in South Australia. And she organised this wine hopping day for us, winery tasting and eating food. And we just had the best day ever. I submitted these photos some time ago, too close to my heart. And they quite often used makers' photos in their artwork, as you can see. So lots of my customers have this book, and if you've got it and you want me to sign it, we joke about that, right? Look, I'm published. So exciting. So with this particular layout, it is a 12 by 12 inch layout, and you are going to need 7 different sheets of paper. So you're going to see today where I've coordinated both pattern paper and also coordinating cardstock. In some instances, I have actually used the same papers. So for this layout, I have used the same papers for paper number 4 and also for paper number 2. So paper 4 were the journaling boxes here on each outside of the page, and paper number 2 is the matching cardstock strips that run down the middle here, and that is in the color Wild Wheat. So everything I'm sharing with you today are exclusively Stampin' Up! Products, except for the ink colors, because I'm still building up on my supplies, and I am still allowed to, during this transition policy, use those ink colors in my scrapbooking layouts while I am teaching, sharing, and showing you lovely ladies different ways that you can incorporate the products into your layout. So this week I have decided to work with the paper suite Take to the Sky. Now, typically when I'm teaching my weekly scrapbooking challenges, I would pick a paper suite of the month and teach with that suite for the whole month. However, this month we've just launched a scrapbooking brochure online. So this was launched last week on the 4th of September, and this is the September 2024 scrapbooking brochure. So this particular brochure is now, from September onwards, guys, exclusively Stampin' Up's commitment that I've been talking about for the last few months, of introducing 12 by 12 traditional scrapbooking products to their range. This particular brochure was put together specifically for that launch, okay? So this brochure coordinates with the September to December mini catalog, and the reason why there is a separate brochure that you can download from my website, if you are on my email list, I have already emailed you the link. If you are in my Facebook group, I have posted this link. The reason why this is a separate brochure is because this particular mini catalog had already gone to print with the paper suites before this product range was even created, which is incredible that Stampin' Up have been able to design, create, and manufacture this product and bring it to our market in such a short turnaround time frame. It is just unbelievable. So there are 4 paper suites in this scrapbooking brochure, and 2 of them, Snow Day and also Reindeer Memories, actually coordinate with 2 of the paper suites in the mini catalog, which are Reindeer Days and also Snowy Scenes, okay? But there wasn't a pre-order period for this scrapbooking brochure. So when it went live last week on September 4 to you, my very valued customers, it also went live to me. So I've only just ordered product from this scrapbooking brochure. So I am going to be teaching the scrapbooking workshop kits that are in this brochure, but I'm waiting on my order to arrive. And in fact, for the month of September, I put a poll up in my scrapbooking group, and the people have voted, and the ones that they want to see most is the Autumn to Remember scrapbooking workshop kit. So I'm going to be teaching with this at my scrapbooking workshops in September. And because I am waiting on this order currently, what it means is that I didn't have any of this product to be able to create with for my weekly scrapbooking challenges. So typically I will stick with 1 paper suite for the month. And as well as creating the scrapbooking workshop kit, I also create additional layouts using that paper suite. Quite often, I will create layouts where I am using up the leftovers from the scrapbooking workshop kit. Now, it's very important to keep in mind that these scrapbooking workshop kits are a product that are designed to be consumed versus collected. So the purpose and the intent behind this kit is that you will use the majority of the products on the 3 scrapbooking layouts that you are going to create. From time to time, I do invest in the product individually. What that means is that I am then doubling up on the pattern paper and the stickers and sometimes the cardstock, because these components that you can purchase individually are also in the scrapbooking workshop kit, but you will use the majority of them to create the 3 double page layouts. So I am waiting for my scrapbooking workshop kit. I'm going to be creating that, and then I will be sharing that in my Technique Tuesday class, hopefully next week. I do have a really busy weekend coming up. So what that means is I'm not sure if I'm going to have a weekly challenge next week using that Autumn to Remember paper suite, or whether I'm going to be sharing something else with you. So you'll just have to watch this space. I think I'm going to try and get something done sooner rather than later in case I run out of time. So let's see how that all works out. So in the meantime, because I'm in this kind of little weird in-between limbo stage of working with their paper suites, I have decided to pick something from the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalogue, because there are, oh, let me see if I get this right. I think there are 9 paper suites in here, guys. And these paper suites are available for the entire year that the catalogue runs for. And the paper suite that I chose to work with this week, which I also did last week, is called Take to the Sky. So I love this particular suite collection and the colours in here. You've got a designer series paper pack, which I've used on my layout this week. There are also some coordinating embellishments, and there's also some coordinating cardstock as well. So I have used the pattern paper through the middle here. This is in the colour Copper Clay, which is one of the coordinating colours. I love that you can see here which colours from the colour collection coordinate with the pattern paper. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. Through the middle here, I've used also then the Copper Clay cardstock. But just so we could make this look a little bit fun, I have actually run the cardstock strip through one of the 3D embossing folders, just to give it that texture, and just so it doesn't look a little bit boring with 2 sheets of cardstock there. Now, if you don't have a 3D embossing folder, that's okay. You can just keep your cardstock plain. I'm a huge fan, you'll know, of texture and embossing, and the embossing folder I have used is from the Stampin' Cut and Emboss embossing folder. It's called the Basics 3D Embossing Folders Pack. Now, there are 3, oh my gosh, and of course I've left it in the other room. Let me go and get it. It's with my die cutting and embossing machine. I'll be 2 seconds. Okay, I thought I was all prepared. Thank you so much for your patience. So I have used the second embossing folder that comes in this kit. So there's no names on here as such, but you'll see that there are 3 different patterns in this pack, and they are a small embossing folder primarily for card usage. So you can see this one's got some really nice dots on here. This one has got a little bit of a star pattern on here. This is the one that I've used in my layout. I love this little crisscross pattern. It's so cute, and I just love the textured look of that. So this is the one I've used. Now, because of the size of the embossing folder, it is 4.5 by 6.25 inches. So the same size as like a card front. Because I've got this 12-inch strip of cardstock here, it's meant that I've actually had to run this strip of paper through my embossing folder twice. Now, with these embossing folders, there's no slit in the folded edge here as such. So I have lined my cardstock right up against this straight edge here, and I've run it through the embossing folder, the embossing machine once, and then I've opened up and then turned my paper around, lined up where the embossing finished with this section here. And then because of where, you can probably see it very faintly just through here, because of where the join is meeting, most of that is covered by photos and other papers on my layout. So don't be too worried about that you don't have a longer embossing folder. You can certainly use the smaller ones for your larger pieces of cardstock for your scrapbooking layouts, girls, okay? So you can't see the join through here because I've got it covered with a photo. It's very faint through here, and I would probably put a bet on if I hadn't pointed that out, you would not even have noticed. So we've got a 3-pack of those embossing folders, the 3D embossing folders. I am obsessed with those. I will post after this video in our Facebook group. I will put links to all of the products that I'm sharing with you today. So this thinner strip of cardstock through here is Wild Wheat, and that I haven't embossed. I've just left that as is. And this is where my technique comes in for this week with the color theory. So as you can see here at the bottom of Page 36, there are 5 coordinating colours which go with this particular paper suite collection. Now, we will see more of this coming, where you will be able to purchase a packet of cardstock. Let me actually reference this here with Autumn to remember. So as you can see here, we've got the designer series paper, and then we have a packet of coordinating cardstock that you can purchase. This is in two-tone, which is super exciting for those of you that have been used to working with two-tone cardstock. You will see that this is a coordinating cardstock pack, and you are going to get 12 sheets of cardstock in the pack. So there's 6 different colors, and then you'll get 2 of each color. So I really, really love that Stampin' Up has introduced that to their scrapbooking range, because prior to that, that wasn't an option, okay? And I'm going to touch on that a little bit here for you, and this will give you some tips to help you if you are working with a paper suite that was launched before September of 2024, okay? We've had a few new people join us today, which is great. Miss Sonia's there. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Chris. Annie's joined as well. So is Emily. Thanks so much for being here, girls, and for watching. So coming back to this cardstock pack here, there is not a coordinating cardstock pack as such, okay? So what it meant is I've had to come to the back of my annual catalogue, and in the annual catalogue here, we've got, I'm going to be talking to you today about the colour theory as part of my Technique Tuesday, but we've got the 4 colour collections that Stampin' Up have, okay? So we've got the Subtles colour collection, we've got the Brights, we've got the Regals, and then we've also got the Neutrals. And then a thing that I love that Stampin' Up do is they do the in colours. So for those of you that transitioned over with me from Close to My Heart, you might be familiar with Colour of the Year that we used to have. The in colours actually run for a 2-year period, which is fantastic. So these colours here, can you already see these colours here that I've used on my layout? These are, the in colours for 2023 to 2025. And this colour combination here are the in colours for 2024 to 2026. So what I had to do was, using my guide here, looking at these 5 colours, because there was not a coordinating cardstock packet that I could purchase, I had to come to the back of my annual catalogue and figure out which colour collection each of these 5 colours actually came from, okay? So we've got Copper Clay, which is part of the 2023 to 25. So is the Boho Blue. Then we've got Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, and Smoky Slate. Smoky Slate, Night of Navy, and Mossy Meadow were all part of the Neutrals cardstock pack. Now, this was one of the very first cardstock packs that I started with when I transitioned over, because Neutrals just go with everything, right? Just perfect. They go with everything. And here, with this particular colour collection, you can invest in a cardstock assortment pack, which means you would buy this whole pack here. There's 10 colours, and you will get 2 sheets of each of these colours. So to coordinate my Take to the Sky pattern paper, you can see I've used Boho Blue here, I've used Wild Wheat, and I've used Copper Clay. That meant that I needed to invest in the Neutrals pack here, and I also needed to invest in the 2023 to 2025 cardstock assortment pack as well, okay? Now, the really cool thing with that is that Neutrals goes with everything. Some of these colours I will use with some other paper collections, and the same here with the 2023 to 2025. That also goes with another paper suite in the annual catalogue, which is called Wildly Flowering. And in fact, we worked with this colour suite at my scrapbooking retreat back in July. Now, you might be thinking, well, hang on a second, Sarah. I didn't see Wild Wheat there with the Take to the Sky colours. That actually wasn't one of the coordinating colours. I'm just going to flick back here. Wild Wheat was not one of the colours, But because my layout required me to have 7 different papers, now, as I mentioned before, you can buddy up some of those. You could use the same color or the same paper, whether that be pattern paper or cardstock. You could definitely bulk that up and use the same for multiple patterns rather than using extra paper. But this is where the color theory actually came into practice for me, and why I wanted to teach on this technique this week, because this is something new that we are getting access to. Now, we definitely did have a color book. For those of you that transitioned from Close to My Heart over to Stampin' Up! With me, some of you might even have that color theory book. But I love that this particular color theory wheel is actually incorporated into the annual catalog. It's not something extra that you need to purchase. And I think that that is just such a great service and addition from Stampin' Up! To have this here and give you that inspiration with your color, and also help you to build confidence with working with color as well. So because I needed an extra sheet of cardstock to go with my copper clay and my boho blue, I thought, oh my gosh, what color am I going to use? And I was, tossing and turning about it. I came to my color theory here and I thought, okay, here in the wheel, it's got all the names of the Stampin' Up! Colors. So I've used copper clay and I've used boho blue, and I've looked at my color wheel and I've gone, okay, these 2 colors are actually what we would call a complementary color combination. So you've got opposite colors on your color wheel, pair colors that are opposite to each other, and see what kind of fun, bold contrast you can come up with. Now, I needed a 3rd one, so I knew that it wouldn't have mattered if I had chose maybe a darker blue or another blue, or maybe a more warmer tone. It was going to coordinate with my complementary color combination. I hope you girls are following along there. Give me a little thumbs up or a love heart if we're on track here. So what I decided to do was come back to my photos, and I had a look at the colors in my photos. I've obviously used the boho blue and the copper clay. You can see that there are some really warm tones in my colors. You've got the yellow from the limoncello shots here. We've got some other warm colors through here with the artwork in the restaurant, on the menu, these amazing salads we had. These photos were taken in the Parisian district of Montmartre, and we had, oh my gosh, guys, the best meal we had when we were in Paris. These big, beautiful salads in these pottery bowls. They brought out fresh baguette. I ordered some rosé, and the rosé came out in this cute little pottery jug. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. Seriously, guys, we had the best lunch. And that is my number one thing, right? When I travel, and you guys know how much I love to travel. And if I haven't done my research first, if I find something that's packed and it's full of locals, you know it's going to be good, right? And this particular bistro was. Before we walked in, all these tables outside were full. We sat inside. There was a table out here, which would have been super cute to watch the world go by, but it was quite warm right there in the sun, so we opted for this little table inside, which I loved, because then, I'm ex-hospitality, right? I had like several years in hospitality before I had my kids. And so I love that aspect, watching what's going on behind the bar and in the restaurant and all the staff. We had just the most incredible lunch. So all those warm colors kind of really tie in there, right? So I thought, okay, let's come back to my color wheel here. What would be another one of the warmer colors that I could use that would coordinate with the boho blue and the copper clay that I'd already incorporated? And I settled on wild wheat. All right. So as part of my weekly scrapbooking challenge this week, I want you girls to pull out your copy of your annual catalog. Now, if you don't have a hard copy of your annual catalog, do not worry. You can actually grab this digitally. You can go onto my website. You can look at the catalog digitally. If you're having trouble finding it, just flick me an email, drop me a comment below, and I will send you the link electronically. That's no problem at all. I want you to come to page 132 and 133. And this week, when you are incorporating your papers into your weekly scrapbooking challenge, you can use whatever paper collection you've got. Share that with us freely. I want you to choose one of these color combinations to try in your scrapbooking to help you to build your confidence. Now, the other ones we've got here are monochromatic. I am a huge fan of monochromatic. Now, this particular color combination is really great if you are starting out as a scrapbooker and you are struggling with coordinating your colors together. Choosing monochromatic is a great place to start, because you can just pick like one color. So it might be like the yellows. It might just be one color that you choose on your color wheel, and then you pair it with shades or tints of that same color. So if I wanted to go with the yellows, I could go like lemon lime twist, soft sea foam, and lemon lolly. So you're going to pick 2 to 3 colors on the color wheel that are next to each other. Monochromatic layouts look absolutely fabulous. So you would look at your photos and you'd be like, okay, what kind of colors are in my photos? We've got some browns, we've got some reds, we've got those really warm colors. Then we've got some blues as well. So you are not going to lose, guys. Like it is just going to be so much easier to reference this color theory wheel to help build your confidence with mixing, coordinating, and contrasting your color, okay? So start off with a monochromatic if you need to build your confidence a little bit. Those colors are always going to match. Obviously, I've run through the complementary. So you've got colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. I could go petunia pop and lemon lime twist, purple and green. That reminds me of Barney. Does anyone remember that kids show when Kayla was little? She used to watch, was he a dinosaur? Barney, that dinosaur? Like he was purple and green. I love that. I love that, purple and green. Who would have thought that would go together? But look, it's there. Now, I know I'm going to get stuck on this, so please don't laugh at me. I always get stuck on this word. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to try to pronounce it. But this particular color combination, analogous. I think I got it right. Did I get it right? You have to tell me. Analogous. Okay, so before, when I talked about monochromatic, you're meant to pick 2 colors. I know I said 2 to 3, but analogous, I think I've got it right. Analogous. I hope I have. What you're doing here is you're choosing 3 colors side by side on the color wheel, which I love. Barney was a dinosaur. Okay, good. I'm glad we've got that right. Barney was a dinosaur. Now, you guys are going to have to tell me if I got analogous right. I'm sure that is it. Okay, so this particular color combination is 3 colors that are side by side on the color wheel. Okay, so not monochromatic, because monochromatic is the same color but different shades. 3 colors on the color wheel. So you are going to pick something from blue violet, and then something from violet. Okay, and you know that if you get any of those colors in this section here, one of those, and any of these 1 colors from this section here, and any one of these 1 colors here, you're on a winner. You are on the home stretch. You cannot go wrong. Those color combinations, they work well together to help create harmony and balance. And then the very last color combination is what we call triatic. So this is when you are creating your scrapbooking layouts and you're picking colors that are evenly spaced around the color wheel. And so to branch out on your confidence a little bit, maybe go for colors that are beyond just those basic primary colors like your reds, yellows, and blues. You might want to go green, evenly spaced. Let's count here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we've got 12. So we go green, and let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. We could go green and orange. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then violet. Green, orange, and violet. Pair that up. Give it a crack. See what it looks like. You know, at the end of the day, girls, the most important thing is that I have printed my photos, I've put them on my layout, and I have journaled my stories. And I know that when you hear me talk about my photos and you hear me share my stories with you, I know that you can hear the love and the happiness and the joy I have in these photos. And in fact, I finished scrapbooking this layout yesterday afternoon just before my son got home from work, and I was like, Jai, come in. He's not in any of these photos, but he was actually at this lunch. I'm like, come in. And I said, remember this? He's like, oh my gosh. He goes, no, I don't. I said, how can you not remember this? Remember these big, amazing salads we had? He could remember the street scene and walking down this streetscape We actually came from where this big tree was. It was near the Wall of Love in the Montmartre district in Paris. He could remember the streetscape, but he could not remember sitting and eating at that lunch. And it was so funny. It wasn't until I printed these photos and I remember having to use the ladies, and I went up this rickety old staircase, and it was just, do you know, like when you look at photos and it makes you think of things, you think, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. And then it brings those memories kind of like flashing back, which I really love. So I hope that has just helped to inspire you a little bit, girls, with the color theory, you know, using those combinations just to help build your confidence. When you post, if you post your scrapbooking layouts on the social media, you can use the hashtag Stampin' Up and share your color creations with us. I would really love to see what you girls try this week. Now, obviously, when we talk about 3 colors, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to use 3 papers. In this instance, I've used 7 papers. So when you do your layout this week, it could be a combination of both pattern paper and cardstock. If you want to pimp it up a little bit, then that's when you can use your embossing folders or other techniques like distressing that I've shared with you over time, if you just don't want the cardstock to look plain and boring. And then with my journal boxes, I have ruled my lines at 1/4 inch when I make my own journal boxes. I rule my lines at 1/4 inch. I've got my Stampin' Right marker here. I use the 0.5 mil end of my pen to journal. And then I actually just did some stamping down the bottom here, just to make that look a little bit fun, so it didn't look so boring. I've done some stamping on the bottom. You've got 2 journal boxes here. So I've done some stamping on the bottom here as well. Now, I didn't have the wild wheat color, so I've used saffron to do my stamping, which is an old close to my heart color. And then I've also done some stamping at the top here. Again, I didn't have boho blue, but I had the close to my heart color in periwinkle, which is the color comparison on the color comparison chart that Stampin' Up put together for us. I have posted that in our Facebook group. You will find that under the files section of our Facebook group. Now, with the stamping, I'm just going to bring my stamp set over. I have used the Of Art and Texture stamp set. So you've got 8 different texture patterns with this particular stamp set. I used these stamps last week. This week I've used this stamp here. And you can see what I've done here is I've just stamped this pattern through the middle because it looked very plain with the white cardstock. So I think this is such a great stamp set for scrapbookers because it's going to fill any white space. It can add a little bit of art and creativity. And of course, you know how much I love the texture. So I have stamped that on there. And just a little tip for you with that stamp, what I did when I put it on my block is I stamped the middle one first so I could get that right in the middle. And then I turned the stamp set around so it looks like, because it's got lines through here, it looks like it was kind of being fed into the other one. And then here I've just turned it back the other way. My title here, I have used, I'm a big fan of these. These are the mini alphabet dies. I love this because you can just run this alphabet die once through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine or your die cutting machine. I can run this through once and it cuts out all these letters for me, which is so cool. So I've used the color Copper Clay there. I will pop a link to this in the bottom. And then just to bling it up a little bit, I have used the Basic Grey and Smoky Slate Pearls. This is not one of the coordinating products from Take to the Sky. It is actually a coordinating product from the Country Woods paper suite, but because it's in the colour Smoky Slate, which is one of the colours from Take to the Sky, because it is here as one of these colours, I decided to use those dots just to bling that up a little bit. The other thing I forgot to point out is that my title, I have actually used some Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm a big fan of these Stampin' Dimensionals. You can see they come in 2 different sizes here. So you've got these large hexagon size. Guys, a pack of these is only $7.50. I cannot believe it. So I'm being like, I used to be really thrifty with my 3D foam tape. Not anymore, girls. I am using those hexagons till there's no tomorrow. So you've got your large ones here. And then my mini ones, I've actually used the mini Stamping Dimensionals here. I did have to cut them in half, so I've just used my paper snips scissors to cut them in half, and then my tweezers just to place them on there. And when I put my titles on, I start with the letter in the middle, and then I go out, okay? And I did actually measure, I think I had about 6.5 inches of space through here. So I typically will start in the middle and then go out. That's just another little tip there for you when you are aligning your ABC and 1, 2, 3 die cuts on there. And then this banner through here, I did actually mount that up with some of the larger Stampin' Dimensionals. So this is when you would use your large ones. So 1 in each corner, and then I've done a couple down the edges and then some in the middle as well. When you're putting photos or extra cardstock over the top of your pattern paper, this is actually quite a busy pattern as well. I'm not going to lie. It's probably not one of my favorite patterns, but I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Adding those Stampin' Dimensionals underneath it just to lift that up a little bit and give that a bit of space between the busyness of it. I can see I've got pattern paper here. I've got texture here. I've got the boho blue Take to the Sky designer series paper through here with the clouds. I wanted to use that paper because I've got this beautiful photo here of the cloudy sky. And then we've got a 1/2 inch strip of blue through here, which was another piece of paper from the Take to the Sky. Now, I'm just going to quickly share this with you because I had to buy my cardstock individually to my pattern paper. What I've done is I've actually put it all in the one bag. So when I bought those cardstock assortment packs that are in the back of your catalog here, I have actually pulled my cardstock colors out, and I have started to then assemble them into, I guess, families of which paper suite they actually coordinate with. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And so if I want to work with Take to the Sky, I just have to literally pull this out, and I've got all my pattern paper, I've got all my cardstock. You can see that I've got extra of some of these colors because I invested in quite a bit for my girls at my retreat with the kits they used. So if I want to work on Take to the Sky, I've got both my cardstock there with my pattern paper. It just makes so much sense to have that all together. And I have popped that in my Ziploc bag. So I know many of you will be excited to see those Ziploc bags coming back for the Scrapbooking Workshop kits. So I really hope that that's given you some great tips this week, girls, on using the color theory in your catalog. I can't wait to see what you come up with this week. I just had this to the side as well that I'm going to share with you. This is the 2023 to 2025 in color jute trim. I didn't end up using this on my layout, but as you can see, we've got wild wheat, copper clay, and boho blue. So these 3 colors coordinate with this paper suite as well. So if you are having trouble coordinating product up, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. The biggest tip I will give you is you literally could just type in a color. So I could literally just type in boho blue, and everything that is boho blue on my website will come up using that search function. And 9 times out of 10, that's actually how I've been able to find other coordinating product to use with my scrapbooking layouts. So thanks so much to those of you that joined in today live. I hope that's been helpful for you. I really hope that you feel a little bit more confident with using the color theory in your scrapbooking. And I cannot wait to see what you girls create this week. I will pop links to all of the goodies that I've shared with you today in the comment section below. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a great week. Bye for now.